It's the October meeting, Commemorative Air Wing Oct.
I told you the story last night, so.
You can all sit down and. Alrighty, let's start the meeting as we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and uncover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now that I've done that, I'll stand away from nobody can hear me. Do we have any guests this morning? Why don't we start at the back of the room and move forward? All right.
My name is Dan Doolittle, and my dad, an Army vet during Korea, is Wendell Doolittle.
Awesome.
Jimmy Doolittle.
In front of Linda.
Who's Linda?
Okay, witness protection. He doesn't want to. Okay. Moving forward. Next to Darren.
Yep. I'm Doug Robertson. I brought the tanks in here for the display today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darren.
Moving farther forward. You're not a guest anymore. Yes.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Chris Johnson. I'm up out of Fort Leavenworth. So David Dyer invited me down here. And I've got my college roommate from West Point here. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Ed Kovalinski, he has as many models of tanks as Jim Stella has airplane models. If you've ever seen Ed. Ed served in the military, so, and I'm not going to introduce Debbie, and I'm not going to, Sean Wen, who does a lot of our Patriot features, just finished one for Norm Williams, who's here. Norm was on the USS Relief. Cheryl Fleming used to be part of a museum in Pennsylvania area, and that was really a cool thing, World War II deal. And she brought her mom, Alta, wave like this, Alta. Stick your hand up, there you go. Are you 70 yet?
What?
Are you 70 years old yet?
Thank you.
Cheryl's mom got up in the B-29 when it was here the other day, and it's a little bit of a challenge, but she made it and she loved it, and it was very special.
And she's legally blind.
And she's legally blind.
Getting her out was not easy.
Getting her out was not easy, but you made it, so we're glad you're here. And then I know Jim J. Marine's here somewhere. There he is in the back.
No, there he is in the front.
Oh, there's in the front. That up my other back. And then Dick Cooper and Dean Kling, one of our previous speakers, who was, Dean was shot out during Korea. A reconnaissance mission, was shot out of his airplane. And then in the very back, Garen and Lucy. Lucy, there you go, stand up. Garen and I exchanged a very nice email about his heritage from the military. But what's neat about Lucy is that Lucy she's not a U.S. citizen, but she just finished her test, and she passed all of her questions about the United States perfectly. And she's waiting for her paper to let her know when she can go. And that's a really special.
That is special.
July 4th. That's really neat.
Wow.
And then,
knows more than most.
yeah, I don't think I can. And then Mr. McDonough, where are you? There you go. Said today he wants to be a member. This is his second time back as a captain. And then where's Pat Clark? There he is. Did we introduce you yet?
No.
You better stand up.
Pat Carr, I came, well, it's been many years ago, but
We weren't going to hold it against you, but he knows Jim.
Yeah, the name on his hat is his great uncle, grandfather. He is in the Stearman family.
Oh.
Directly back to Lloyd Stearman.
Boswell's here, and I have another guest. He's in a wheelchair, so he's gonna come up in a little bit. But he was in a tank in the Iwo Jima, and it's kind of a special. So I'll introduce him when he shows up. He's on his way. So I missed somebody, I apologize. Did I miss anybody?
There's only 2 other people in the
I was
whole
gonna
meeting.
Tom Johnson is here.
Yeah, Tom Johnson.
Is he
Way in the
back
back.
in the corner? He's not a guest, he's the prodigal colonel, former maintenance officer, and
Hi, Tom Johnson. I used to be the maintenance officer here, took care of that PT-19 and the other birds that we had at the time. So, nice to-
Great.
if you want to pay your back dues, Tom and Chesney. Anyway, we got name tags for people who aren't guests. And who's the first? Who's been to a meeting last? Dennis Vogan, you here?
He's never here.
A perfect attendance record. Chuck Hake, you here? Yes. Here you go. Thank you. Fred Wickie, I know is down in Wichita today. His granddaughter's got to play. Beverly Wittenborn.
She's here.
The Spearman's loading up. Go out and help your namesake. Anybody else that wants a name tag, one of those big deluxe?
What were the other names you had? I'll take one.
Dennis Hogan, come on here. Who's Dennis today? I thought you were going to sit down.
Well, I'm up, so I'm gonna stay up. for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want one of the name tags, it looks like this. They're $14 in advance, and I'll get them made for you, but you need to come see me after the meeting so we can get your name down, okay?
Thank you, Jack. Any new members that got your packet from Dallas that haven't been? None today. Announcements. You might notice the north half of the building, we have dry floors. We got the roof company to come out and start roofing. There were some delays, so they didn't get it finished, but the south half of the hangar still got water on the floor, the north half doesn't. Major improvement. So Aspen Roofing actually is doing it at cost. Thank them very much. If you need a new roof, you might call Aspen. Our goal was $30,000. They're going to do it for just about $20,000, which is awesome.
Wow. Cool.
Of which we've raised about 10, maybe less. No, we've raised 9.
Yes, we've raised 9, we have collected about 7,500. So if you've pledged and haven't paid, please get me a check. And if you haven't pledged and would like to consider, or pay and haven't and would like to consider, get me a check.
Or cash.
Or cash.
Or a debit card. Thank you. That's Tom McChesney, our finance guy. Seriously, thank you everyone that's contributed to fixing the roof. It's an important thing. It's gotten to the point with the museum, you'll notice some of the ceiling tiles are dripping and all these artifacts are replacing artifacts. We need to protect them. So thank you everyone who has donated, and anyone who hasn't donated, if you would consider, we'd love to raise our $11,000 roughly we need still. Roughly $11,000. PT-19 fuselage, is Jim here, or Bat? Okay, I'll be the maintenance officer for today. You might notice there's extra room in the shop downstairs. That's because the PT-19 fuselage is gone. We took it up to the media blaster in Tonganoxie Tuesday. They're going to have it blasted and ready for inspection, so we'll take it back down to Gardner. It's coming up Tuesday. If anybody wants to witness or help or whatever, 10 o'clock, we're going to meet out here at the hangar. Jim Neese is going to donate his trailer. We'll go up and pick it up, drive it over to Gardner to the maintenance facility so they can inspect it and paint it.
Did you say Tuesday?
Tuesday, 10 a.m. Tuesday. So we're making progress. That's good. Dixie Wing is working on our wings, putting them back together. I got a couple of pictures if we have time later of them hard at work. So Dixie's putting the wood together. We're getting the metal done, the prop and stuff. We're making progress. Someday it's going to fly again. Someday soon. Those who put never in the pool, you might as well carry it together. Museum upgrades. Darren Roberts. Where's Darren at? There's Darren.
We're working on the wall. The Tuskegee Airmen display is coming up. So this is just kind of temporary. I've got to find some. There's a big tail frame thing, that's really heavy, so I gotta find some good bolts. But that'll be done in the next couple weeks. I've had conferences, I teach 4th grade, so conferences have taken up the majority of my time. Also, I'm going to have anyone who's interested in being in the museum, Thursday the 14th at 7 o'clock here, we're gonna have a committee meeting. So if you're at all interested in helping out, I don't wanna do this alone. So I want ideas, I'm not an idea kind of guy. So bring your ideas, we'll hash out what we wanna do, and I'll take anybody who wants to help. So that's next Thursday the 14th of November.
We'll put that, where's Jared at? Jared up here?
Yep, I got
We'll
it.
put that on calendar, thank you. Anyway, thanks Jared, looks great, we're getting there.
It's not a McDonald's drive-thru, I promise.
I know, I've been talking to the box all day. No fries. Stickers and patches, just a reminder. Speaking of Jarrett, thank you very much, Jarrett. We got the new window sticker, car sticker, whatever. They're more waterproof than the old ones. I've had one on my car for a month and it hasn't faded yet. $2 to help fundraising. We also have wing patches, which are $10. Look great on a flight suit or a leather jacket or a bulletin board or wherever you want to hang them. We're not picky. $10 for those, $2 for the car patches. To see me or any other officer, they're in the office. Show your pride in the wing. Elections are coming up. Do we have an election committee? Ron Wright, are you here?
No, it's the nominating committee.
Okay, nominating committee, are you here? Jim Bond.
Committee of one.
Yeah, all the other nominating committee is staying out of sight. Pardon me while I whip this out. I just wanted to say that. The nominating committee, through a great deal, we've persevered through all sorts of all sorts of shenanigans, trying to sneak up on somebody that wants to be a member of staff. Really, no. We had really a great slate of candidates, really good people. I think they're going to really move the wing forward. And with that, I will show our nominations. For unit leader, the nominating committee has nominated Brian Von Beveren. For executive officer, we're nominating Linda Sladish. For operations, Bob Robinson. And for development, Jim Schrock.
Thank you. According to the unit manual, that's the official ballot that they sent down to Dallas, that Dallas said, yeah, that's good, you guys can have that election. Apparently, worldwide, headquarters is not happy with the way units are doing elections. You're allowed to have write-in candidates. In fact, the unit manual says if you want to be a write-in candidate, you can do that. However, apparently they're getting some people that they don't consider qualified for the job. They that won the popular vote. Hank Code said he had to invalidate one unit's complete election. They got to start over from scratch. So if you want to be a write-in candidate, you're supposed to let headquarters know, send them a little paragraph about here's who I am and here's my history in the CAF and here's why I'm going to be a good wing leader or exec or any of the other offices. If you have any questions about that, if you're interested in being a write-in candidate, please let us, you can raise your hand right now and say, yeah, I want to be a write-in candidate, but let us know sooner rather than later.
I'm running for wing leader.
Okay, Jarrett has already done what he needs to do. He notified headquarters, Hank Coates. If you go to the website, it's hankcoates@cfhq.com.
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
Yeah.
Just send them a little paragraph if you have a question or a comment. Jim Bond, the nominating committee, Ron Wright, Fred Wicke, and Kim Crockett are the election committee. You can let them know, or just call me and I'll walk you through steps. But Hank Coates said they're going to rewrite that section of the manual, the election section, next year because he doesn't want any last-minute write-ins anymore. So if we can avoid a last-minute write-in, we have a good reputation down at headquarters. I'd like to keep that. Let's do that. Just let us know. It's a hoop to jump through. It's not a big hoop to jump through, but it's not a small hoop to jump through. It's an easy hoop to jump through. Just let us know and we'll get that done. I don't want to have our election questioned. Anyway, dance update. John Wittenborn, who is out flying right now. Yeah. I'll give you an update. They're having a organizational meeting the 22nd. Is that correct?
Yes, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Up here, if you want to help volunteer, if you got ideas, or if you just want to know what the dance update is. For those that don't know, next September, the 2020 September, Yeah, that's the next one. We're gonna have a dance, a hangar dance, probably World War II. I don't know a lot about it. I'm coming out Tuesday to get updated. We got a big band booked. We've got a date. We're gonna start selling tickets, looking for sponsors. If you've got a corporate sponsor that might be willing to underwrite our dance, that would be awesome. If we can have it paid for before we start selling tickets, that's way better. And that way we make a lot more money and we can buy the other half of the roof. But anyway, Tuesday the 22nd, 7 p.m. up here, if you want to be involved in the dance committee or just want to witness what's going on. Tree, is Tree here? Tree Wynn would like help. He wants to call it a facility manager, the safety officer is in charge of safety of the building and the ground vehicles and that sort of stuff. If someone wants to volunteer to help him be the facility manager or deputy safety officer, or whatever you want to call it, give him a call or give me a call and we'll put you guys together. He wrote up a job description, but it's way too long to read here. Bill Howie would like to,
He's flying.
well, his airplane's still here, so. Is anybody flying down to Dallas? I know we got a ground contingent driving down leaving Wednesday, but he wondered if anyone was going down later, maybe they could fly down together. So if you're interested, or if you think you want to do that, Bill Howie's got the blue and yellow T-34 out on the ramp, and if you can't get a hold of him, give me or Jerry or somebody else a call, and we'll put you guys in touch with each other. Gary Swanson, did you happen to visit today? I didn't hear you stand up. No. Johnson County is honoring Veterans Day as they should. And they're putting a special emphasis on female veterans this year. So if you have served in the military, I gave him your number, or you know of a female who has served in the military, please contact Gary Swanson and they'll give them details about how they're going to honor them. I guess they're going to have speeches over at the memorial and stuff. So, or again, give me a call and I'll set you guys up together. Debbie Austin, are you here? There you are. You want to be Reads Over America lady?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now?
If that's okay.
Yeah, no,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot,
no.
but I got your slideshow
Okay.
set up.
Hey, look, it works.
Yeah, you can have the microphone, you can have whatever. I'll just
Wow.
start the media. Is that it?
Yeah.
What happened to my input? There it is. It's Debbie Austin, ladies and gentlemen. You broke it, way to go. Now we need money for
I was
roof.
gonna say now, well, yeah, I know.
Or you can just pull it out.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today. My name is Debbie Austin. I am a Gold Star mom and an American Gold Star mom. My son, Shane Austin, was killed in Iraq, October 8th, 2006. One of the things that we do as an organization, and I do as a mother to honor my son, is Wreaths Across America. And I'm sure many of you have heard of it. You know, you've heard of both American Gold Star Moms and Wreaths Across America. We are partnered nationally, so we partner locally with Leavenworth National. Just a little bit about Wreaths Across America. In 1992, Merle Rooster had 5,000 wreaths left over and didn't want to throw them away. So he got permission to place them at Arlington Cemetery. He did this quietly until 2005, when an Air Force photographer took a now ironic photo and shared it on social media. Money started coming in, and Morrill didn't have to return it since he runs a private business. The money kept coming in. This started a nonprofit, Wreaths Across America. The mission is to place a veteran's wreath in every cemetery in the U.S., at sea, and abroad. In 2018, in 2018, we placed 1.8 million wreaths in over 1,600 cemeteries, and including for the first time, the American cemeteries in Normandy. These are not holiday wreaths. Each live blossom represents a different part of a veteran's life and sacrifice. This is all done through donations and volunteers. At Leavenworth Cemetery, we have over 36,000 veterans, and last year we had 5,661 wreaths. The wreaths are $15 a piece and are tax deductible. There is a saying that a person dies twice. The first time is when you take your last breath, and the second time is when your name is never spoken, or spoken for the last time. On Wreath Day, we remember by speaking the veteran's name out loud. We honor them and thank them for their sacrifice by placing a wreath. And finally, we teach by taking a picture and Googling the veteran and sharing it on social media so the veteran is not forgotten. I do have trifolds with me with all the information. You can go online to make a donation. And we also ask that you join us December 14th at Leavenworth National, which is Wreath Day. It's always the third Saturday of December. So we would love to see you out there and join us. So, thank you.
Lights. Thank you, Debbie. And for those that remember Ron Bain, our speaker coordinator, who died a few years ago, Wreaths Across America was a very important cause to him.
Yes.
Is he buried in Leavenworth?
I think so.
I think he might be buried up there. He'd love to see you guys again. So anybody that can help, yes, sir.
I'm just wondering how many wreaths are left to go? Like how many last year? How many veterans' graves did not get a wreath?
Well, last year we had 4,000 wreaths to lay, and there's 36,000 veterans. So I don't know.
So there's a ways to go.
We have a ways to go.
Okay.
Yes, we have a long ways to go, and that is our mission, is to cover every grave.
And explain the wreath again. What's on? I mean, all I could see was the wreath and the red ribbon. Explain what's on the wreath again.
Well, that is all that is on the wreath.
Okay.
It's just a plain wreath, live wreath with the ribbon. But every time they do a section, and there's 10 meanings to the wreath, and I don't have that, and I don't remember.
Right there.
Right there.
Right here.
Yeah, right there, okay.
Faith, love, strength, honesty, humility, ambitions, optimism, concern, pride, hopes and dreams.
Okay, great. Thank you
And
for all your
yes,
work.
but yes, and we would love to see the donations, the sponsorships, and have the people come out and say their name was below a wreath.
And then look at the peanut gallery.
What, I didn't hear what the date is for that.
December 14th?
December 14th.
November 14th?
December 14th.
Thank you, December.
And they stay at the cemeteries until about mid-January.
Can I ask one more question? I'm sorry. With all the names on the wall, Vietnam Wall, or do all those people get a wreath in some way?
It depends on where they're laid to rest at, and if that cemetery participates in the ceremony. Yeah, I mean, I really hope so, but, we take care of Leavenworth National, and, they're laid to rest all over the country, so. And I would assume that they are laid to rest at a veteran cemetery. Yeah. So we do try to work on it. And for me, I really like laying a wreath in the older sections of the cemetery, because my son will always get a wreath. As long as I'm alive, he will always get a wreath. But there'll be a day when I'm not here to lay a wreath, so that's why it's very important for me to carry on this mission and to make sure that Shane every year will have a wreath.
Debbie, I have a question. The wreaths they're artificial, they're permanent, right?
No, they are live wreaths.
Live wreaths?
They are,
So
yes.
every year you have to buy, so the 4,000 you had last year are gone?
Yes, and what we
Oh.
try to do with that, and if anyone here knows of a farmer that may have goats, a lot of farmers take them and feed them to their
Okay.
animals too. So it's kind of recycling.
So logistically, it just wouldn't work to store for next year?
No, and a lot of that is because 4,000 wreaths would be very hard to find a storage for that.
Thank you.
But they are live, they come from Maine, it's a family, the Worcester family, that started this as a family business, and they still have that family business, but they also do this Wreaths Across America.
How do we contribute to it?
Well, I can take donations today, or you can go online. You can either mail it in, or you can go online and donate.
Debbie, is there information about becoming a volunteer to relay the wreaths? Is that online?
Yes, Michelle, and I also, can I add a few more?
Yeah.
We have been, as an American Gold Star Mom, our chapter has been involved with wreaths across America since about 2010. It took me a few years to finally overcome everything and become a volunteer. We have had several coordinators with, overseeing this. 2 seasons ago, we had a new coordinator, Michelle Seavey, which many of you probably have met. She is doing a phenomenal job of getting the word out there. Her information is in here, so like to volunteer or to get a group started or to even get a fundraising group started, that's the person you would contact.
Oh, okay.
And as a fundraising group, you have 2 ways to do this. You can, as our chapter, we do it as for every wreath we have sponsored, we get money back. And with that, we can send packages overseas, or we can help our veterans that are still with us today. So we kind of do it twofold. Or you can choose to do 2 for 1. For every 2 wreaths that are sponsored, we get 1 free. So.
Do you want to hand some of those out?
Yeah, sure.
Somebody do that for you.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I was out there last year, and I tell you, it's a moving experience. Want to get there early because they line up, parked up, the roads are fully parked, vehicles and people. Probably 5,000-6,000 people out there last year just for the ceremony. And then a couple thousand laying the wreaths. It takes about 20-30 minutes to do a section.
Yeah. And we're working on parking, because parking, as you said, it can be kind of crazy.
So
We're hoping
plan to get out there early.
Well, with this year, Michelle, this is what I mean, Michelle has really transformed it. Our ceremony used to be like an hour long, which the weather's unpredictable, usually cold, and there's kids there that aren't a lot of adults, we aren't patient sometimes when it's cold. So we've condensed the ceremony down to 15 minutes. We're trying to handle the parking as far as like maybe park at the VA hospital, and we're gonna shuttle people to the cemetery to kind of cut down on some of that. So, yeah, a lot of changes for the positive, and we're really moving forward, so. Kudos to our coordinator, Michelle Seavey, for that. And someone he has the flyer, so yeah, take as many as you need. Call Michelle, call me if you want. Yeah, I'd love to see everybody out there and really work on getting every veteran there, so we can say every veteran's name. Questions? Thank you, thanks. Thanks for allowing me.
Okay, then I'll take the slide. Never mind, have at it.
Okay. Just 3 short things. First of all, Beth and I'd like to thank everybody that participated and helped with First Saturdays. They were a great success this year, and even the one that we decided to do in October, where we had kind of a little fall party, even though we didn't have a ton of people here, for a rainy day, it was really well attended, and we had a great time. So thanks to everybody who's come out this whole season to do that. Secondly, there is a key laying downstairs on the bar for the kitchen. We don't know who it is. If it's not claimed by the end of the day, we'll bring it up here and put it in the office. It looks like it's maybe a lock key or a lock key to a locker or something. And thirdly and lastly, last year we sort of had a Thanksgiving lunch after our November meeting, and we've decided that we have a lot to be thankful for this year. Number one, water isn't running in right now, and that will only get better. But please, everybody, come to the November meeting, because we're going to have a Thanksgiving lunch afterwards. We'd love to have everybody here. Tell the people that aren't here, because just come and help us celebrate this fall season and what we're thankful for.
You like us to bring something like potluck?
No, no. We're probably going to do that for Christmas, so
Okay.
we have to talk about Christmas yet, but that's next month. Don't want to overload you with meal stuff.
Alrighty, Any other staff members or people who want to have an announcement? Come on down.
Announcement. The Kansas City, I'm just a messenger, I'm not part of it, but they have weekly programs at the downtown library and the plaza library that are free to the public. A lot of very different topics, etc. I'm going to share one that will be this coming Tuesday night at the downtown library. It's military, that's why I think some of you might be interested. It's called I Have Returned, MacArthur, Leyte, and Luzon. From the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College, Leavenworth will be, I believe it's pronounced Geoff Babb. He's presented some programs before, and I've gone down to them, and I go to some of these monthly, and they're very fun and educational. I'll just take a minute. It's at the downtown library, Tuesday, October 22nd, wine and cheese prior to the meeting. That ought to bring out most of you. At the Central Library, 14 West 10th Street. And the info is fighting across the Central Pacific and the dropping of the atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki now overshadow a key World War II campaign in 1944-45. General Douglas MacArthur, his dramatic return to the Philippines to reclaim the strategically positioned islands from Japan. That's what this program is about. Military historian Geoff Babb from the U.S. Army, I mentioned that. Great, knowledgeable person, very educated. It will involve, the topic will involve from the Philippines to the U.S. colonization in 1898 to Japan's invasion and MacArthur's forced withdrawal at the start of World War II. MacArthur would come back 2.5 years later, I have returned, wading onto the island of Leyte. The U.S. troops worked their way to Luzon and the Philippine capital of Manila, where brutal 29 days by block, house by house fighting devastated the city before its ultimate liberation. Thought I'd share that with you. I'll be near the tanks after this meeting if anybody has any questions and etc. Thank you.
That's at the Kansas City downtown?
Yes.
Library. And what was the date again?
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Whose name?
What date?
It's this coming Tuesday night, and it does start at 6 o'clock for the wine and cheese. And then the program starts at 6:30. It usually goes an hour. You're out of there at 7:30, 7:45. But very, very good programs.
You might want to make a reservation. Sometimes those things fill up. I'm not sure this one will, but sometimes they do.
Yeah, it says make reservations. I nobody don't. I get there early for the wine and cheese and I'm got a seat.
Doors open at noon, right? Read a couple books and try not to spill any wine on their books. Richard?
Yeah, in the past, when I've gone to those meetings, across the street to the west is a
Free
parking garage. And
Free
you go in
parking.
there, get a stick, and they'll stamp it, and then it's free.
Cool. Alrighty, any other announcements or updates or news, jokes? Hey Dyer.
I walked into the TV and Jim Schrock said, "You don't need to duck, Dave." Pretty harsh. I was down helping. David Schwartzbaugh was kind enough to go rescue our tank Marine that was on Iwo Jima, Murph. They're lost. They're out there. We sent out an airplane to look for them. But David Schwartzbaugh is on a recovery mission right now. Shortly, I didn't see Bill Keitel come in, but he's a World War II Tungus net lane ship veteran arrived, and Max DeWeese, who is 98 and
Still sneaking into places.
Still sneaking into places. Guadalcanal, I'm not going to get the order right. Max DeWeese, Saipan, Tinian, and Tarawa. So I know that's not the right order. Jerry Sladish, why don't you come up? Jerry brought something to the wing, and I just thought this was really neat. Just as a memory of his father, and I think as many of us have a connection. I knew somebody or I had a relative. I mean, it's so special to have the Doolittle family here today. But as we think about that, and Jerry's father, he's been researching the Purple Heart that his dad, he thinks, received on Kwajalein. And this was presented to Edward Sladish, the United States of America, honors the memory of Edward Sladish. This certificate is awarded by a grateful nation in recognition of devoted and selfless consecration to the service of our country in the armed forces of the United States. And I think it's special. He wanted to share this with our museum, our group, and I think it's really special because as we honor our legacy and our history, I think it was really special. So I just want to say thank you. Busy. He fixed the elevator. He launched the airplane so we could have a veteran do that. So I'm done with you. Changing light bulbs in the museum. You're done for now. You can take a 5-minute break. Get back to work. Get back to work.
Quick question, yeah. The Doolittle family?
Yeah, right back there.
Were they you guys?
Nephew and
yeah, my dad and myself. And we are distant relations to General Jimmy Doolittle.
Yeah.
So and I actually teach a geography class, 7th grade world geography in Paola, Kansas, and we're currently studying the South Pacific and Australia. So everything that you guys talk about as far as what took place there is just fascinating to me. Yeah. And I like to be able to try to pass that on to the students.
Would you work, please buy us a B-25?
Yeah.
I was going to also, yeah, John. Jimmy Carter is the name on the certificate. Below that, you're probably not old enough to remember this, John. He was the president of the United States. I was kind of a young guy. I wish I was as boy. Hope I didn't break the tank. Gosh. I'm going to also make 3 announcements about some upcoming events. There's a breakfast. Several people are going to, there's a church, a Presbyterian church. If anybody's interested, they're going to have a Huey. Gene Russell's bringing his Jeep. That's November 2nd. There's a Vietnam exhibit right now, 300 artifacts at the World War I Museum. So those that are interested in World War I and Vietnam, you can see both at the same time. And there's also a Wayne Minor event. You probably recognize the name from Kansas City, but he was a World War I hero. And so there's a play about Wayne Minor that's coming up. So if you're interested in that, see me later.